the NFL regular season comes to a close, featuring big changes in the coaching cycle. Pete Carroll, one and done in Vegas. He's out as the Raiders head coach. The Raiders went 3-14 this year. They'll have the number 1 pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Jonathan Gannon's time with the Cardinals over as well. Gannon lasted 3 seasons in Arizona, never made the postseason. He went 3-15 against the NFC West. And Kevin Stefanski fired in Cleveland. In his 6 seasons, he led the Browns to their only 2 playoff appearances over the last 20 years, but also 2 last-place finishes. Here's owner Jimmy Hasslam on the decision.
Kevin did a lot of good things here over his time period with us. It was an extremely difficult decision we made.
This guy.
And I shouldn't say I have no doubt. I would be highly optimistic that Kevin will be a head coach again in the league. I don't think there was one breaking point. I think you got to look at the body of work, and sometimes it's just time for a change, so we felt like it was time for a change.
Did you think the roster was good enough to win more games this year?
You know, it's easy for me to say yes. So, yeah, I think it was good enough to win more games.
Senior NFL insider Adam Schefter has been breaking stories all day long and joins us now. Schefter, so Stefanski may be out in Cleveland, but his name will be a hot one in these coaching searches. Yeah. What can you tell us about his future?
Big Wizzy.
Already is a hot name, Kevin, and he is planning to speak with the Giants, the Falcons, the Titans about each of their head coaching vacancies. It didn't take those teams long to reach out to try to arrange interviews with Kevin Stefanski on the same day that he was officially let go by the Cleveland Browns. He moves on from them. But Jimmy Hasslam, the Browns owner's right. He can see him as a head coach, and it looks like Stefanski is going to be one of the top candidates in this head coaching cycle. It looks like he might not have to wait long for his next opportunity, and he's free to meet with these teams right now, whereas other coaches under contract with teams cannot meet face-to-face until January 19th. Stefanski can start taking head-to-head interviews right now, and that is expected to be the case.
I mentioned earlier that the Raiders, they fired Pete Carroll after 1 season. They have the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft. The Jets, they pick 2nd. What's the future look like for Aaron Glenn after his first season?
The Jets have stood squarely behind Aaron Glenn, despite the fact that this organization struggled down the stretch, was outscored by 107 points in the month of December, became the first team in NFL history not to intercept a single pass in the course of a whole season. Now, they do have a lot of cap space. They do have added draft picks. They do have the 2nd overall pick, as you mentioned. But right now, it's a situation where they're going to stand behind Aaron Glenn, and he's going to keep his job. And in Miami, Mike McDaniel right now is safe, still on shaky ground. We don't know who the Dolphins' new general manager is going to be. He's going to have a say. We don't know ultimately if the Dolphins will keep McDaniel, but for the time being, they are planning on having him, with those plans being subject to change. We also await news from Tampa to see if there's any developments with Todd Bowles. But the sense around the league right now is that he is safe, although we have not heard that from the Buccaneers owners yet. Now, Bowles will meet later this week with owners. There are expected to be some changes made on his staff, but the feeling has been that he has won 3 division titles. He has won a lot of games. Learned in the last 24 hours that even when teams say that a guy may be safe,
he's not.
He might not be safe. See Raheem Morris last night.
Yeah. So, and keep in mind too, after a 6-2 start, the Bucs, they lost 7 of their last 9 games, and with the Falcons winning, the Bucs couldn't make the playoffs. Stand by here, Shefty, because Hannah has much more on another developing story. Hannah.
I mean, Kevin, what a way to finish
None
the
of it's
regular
the
season.
Cowboys.
My bad. That's you asking me about next year, Jameson. Like, I'm so caught up in what just happened tonight. I can't focus on that right now. I just told you. Like, he asked me, "Are you stunned right now?" I'm still trying to process what's going on. Like, I know we lost, but what the like, that's all.
By a kicker.
A lot of discussion about that, though it's hard after the emotion of a last-second loss like that as we bring Shefty back in. Ravens were the preseason Super Bowl favorite. They had one of the best rosters in all of the NFL. What is next for Harbaugh in Baltimore?
Well, Hannah, when a team loses in the way the Ravens did in such disappointing fashion, there's going to be discussions. And there are going to be conversations about what is best for both sides. Does John Harbaugh want to stay on? Do the Ravens want to keep him on? We don't know the answers to those questions just yet, other than there'll be organizational meetings just as there are.
Well, good evening, good people and Eagle and 49er fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Before we get knee-deep in it, let's take care of my good buddies from Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code JOBO. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Welcome, everybody, to the off-season, our first live stream since the Dallas Cowboys season ended, sadly, yesterday with a loss to the New York stinking Giants. And I mean, they're stinking. They're stinking and stupid, too, at the same time. They could have had the #1 pick in the draft. All they had to do was lose 2 freaking games. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, they won one. But they can say they finally got a win over Dak Prescott since 2016. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! So as we sit here at 9:07 on Monday night, the dead man walking is still a Dallas Cowboy coach. Now, here's the thing that's right now. I want you to understand some things. Adam Schefter pointed out that Kevin Stefanski, who all of a sudden is a hot commodity, he became the fall guy for Deshaun Watson being the worst trade in the NFL history. Let's be clear here. The amount of money that they spent for Deshaun Watson it's insane. It's insane. I remember when people were saying, oh, my God, Cowboys fans were saying, we should go get Deshaun Watson. Dak is whack, man. He ain't a real quarterback like Deshaun Watson, man. And I remember him being 5th, they said, in passing that last year in Houston. And I said, as y'all talk about, they had 4 wins. They were garbage time yards. But no, nobody said anything about that. He goes to Cleveland, and, of course, all the dirty laundry came out, and they found out he can't play, at least not with the half-ass team that they had in Cleveland, although he did have Odell and Amari Cooper for wide receivers. But still couldn't stay on the field. And that fully $240 million contract that they've restructured and everything else, they're still paying on that and still have him. So Kevin Stefanski was hamstrung by that, and he never really had much good quarterback play except for Joe Flacco, who's about as old as dirt. So people are giving him a pass and saying the problems with Cleveland weren't the coach. Now, I got to say, as a coach, I want to do everything I can to win. I want to try and make the players I have better. Granted, you may not have liked Sador, but it seemed like they were doing some things that didn't help him any. It's not like you had great quarterback play out there. Maybe Kevin Stefanski is just like Tyreek Hill, where he's like, yes, I've been released from this hellhole that I'm in. And he could go to another hellhole with the New York stinking Giants or the Atlanta Falcons. Now, for us as Cowboy fans, see, Kevin Stefanski can talk to anybody right now about their vacancy. He can go fly to New York tomorrow. He can fly to Atlanta tomorrow. Anybody who's looking for a new coach that's not in the playoffs, he can talk to face to face. They can hire him if they want to tonight. Now, we have Brian Flores. Brian Flores, who has been a head coach, who had a Miami Dolphins team that was 5-11 his first year. I believe they were 11-5 the second year and 9-8 the third year. He has almost a 500 record. Unfortunately, the ownership didn't like him. The players loved him. And that last year, they started out like 0-5 and ended up being 9-8. They were buying into him, and ownership said, no, bro, we want you to go ahead and tank to get a quarterback. And he was like, bro, I don't want to tank, man. We're players. We want to win everything. We want to win games. And so herein lies the lawsuit that's out there that probably will go to arbitration, and they'll probably settle out of court eventually. But it might do the NFL good if he gets a head coaching job. It's kind of hard to say, they're keeping me from being head coach, but I am a head coach. And so the problem for the Cowboys, if they're looking at him to be their their defensive coordinator, he may be the head coach of the Raiders. He just may. And I could see him fitting in really well with the Raiders. So he may not be on the table for us. The problem here, now Brian Flores, again, same thing. He is now a free agent because his contract was up with Minnesota. He's free to talk to any of these teams and get an early start. And you see, Atlanta started last night. He was like, we ain't waiting. We're going to bring in Matt Ryan. We're going to let Matt Ryan find our head coach. They started last night. Everybody else started today on Black Monday. The Cowboys, they haven't even gotten the starting line yet. They're doing exit interviews. Listen, you don't need to interview for Matt Eberflus's exit. The Dallas Cowboys gave up 511 points. Let me say again, 511 points. This is like the fourth worst defense ever in the history of the NFL. The worst, fourth worst ever. They gave up 511 points. Now, 2020, we gave up 579. Now, granted, we have one more game than we did in 2020. So that's part of the numbers. But if you didn't like that defense, this one was worse. That's hard to believe. Big Spank Dog, Eberflus isn't going anywhere. Let me say hello to the lovely ladies. Woke Yusuf is in the house. Mr. Mojo's in the house. Hot Wangs? Ew. Hot Wangs. What the hell? We got the lovely and talented Holly Pierce. What's up, Holly? We got Kiana Gibson. What's up? Big Spank Dog, you can't read into anything like that as far as why wasn't he fired today. The Cowboys waited a week to fire Jason Garrett. It ended up being like 10 days before they decided we're going to go ahead and get rid of him. Hell, instead of trading Micah Parsons before the draft, we waited until a week before the season. The Cowboys are slow, bro, in case you didn't know that. Johnny Wayne KC, what's going on? Logan Motorsports, DMV Gilly, what's going on? Holly, north of the border. Wait, north of the border, I'm trying to understand where you said you want Jason Witten to be your defensive coordinator? What? You do know he's up for the Hall of Fame as a tight end? He played on the offensive side of the ball? I don't get that one. Some people think that Jerry is waiting for the playoffs to start talking to playoff defensive coordinators like they did with Dan Quinn. But Dirty Sanchez, I have an answer for that. Nick J in the house. Let's see. Alan Williams. Logan Motorsports is in the house. Bride Guy 75. What's going on? Jay Smooth. What's up, Jay Smooth? Who else we got up in here? DC for Life. Gilly, what's going on? As Duden 07. The mentality of the team is he generation. They worry about stats, bonus money too much, and haven't seen a reach Super Bowl in 30 years. This team needs to be pissed. I can agree with you on that one. Nobody wants to play or coach in Dallas. I disagree. Big Spank Dog, the same thing can be said for the Commanders. Bro, you know it's been longer since you've been to a Super Bowl, right? You know that, right? I'm just pointing that out there. Derek Young, History Man, what's going on? Nick J, what's going on? Let's see. Philadelphia, Thomas Garrett, what's up? Greg DK in the house. Jeff Lee. My name is Jeff. Nico in the house. What's up? The Queen Cockroach is here. I think that's it. Damn, I really have gone way back, haven't I? Dallas Cowboy for Life 86. Georgie George. What's going on? Daggone. I really need to get to this sooner, don't I? All right, let's get to it. So, to answer your question about saying that Jerry Jones wants to wait until the playoff team defensive coordinators are available. Well, I got breaking news for you. Da-da-dunt, da-da-dunt. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. I love you. Because the NFL has made some rules. The rules being are, if said team is in the playoffs, don't talk about playoffs, we're Cowboys. If they're in the playoffs, you can talk to potential coaches that you want to hire, not face-to-face, but virtual reality. Starting on Tuesday, January 6th. That's tomorrow, or Wednesday, January 7th. So, you can also, head coach interviews can begin with candidates who's coached in Saturday or Sunday's game next week on the 13th. Head coaching interviews can begin with candidates who coached in Monday night's wildcard game on Wednesday the 7th. Okay? So, they can start talking. Interviews tomorrow. Interviews can begin with candidates whose teams did not make the playoffs or have a first-round bye if the interviewing club played Saturday, January 3rd. So you can start the process of talking to some of these coaches and things. Now, truth in advertising here, the Cowboys have been talking to coaches. We talked to Matt Eberflus before we actually hired our head coach. And they were talking to Mike McCarthy while Jason Garrett was still hired. So it is possible that they're already talking to some of these candidates that are out there. Why would they pick up the phone for Jerry? Here's the thing. I will say this much, Big Spank Dog. You may not like the Dallas Cowboys, but see, here's the thing about the Dallas Cowboys is you have the worst defense in football. You got nowhere to go but up. Nowhere to go but up. You will be in the spotlight, which means others will see you. Okay? The Cowboys know that they have to do something more on defense. Their offense, you have a great offense and a really great quarterback. And if you're a defensive coordinator, you look and you say, if I can turn that defense around, I got a good chance of maybe going to a Super Bowl and getting a head coaching job. That's the truth. Because if you win in Dallas, look at Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, same situation. Dan Quinn was looked at the biggest choker. He was considered the biggest choker because his team in Atlanta, up 28-3, lost in the fourth quarter. They lost. They had the biggest meltdown out there. When he was hired, people were like, why are we hiring this guy's he's an idiot. Look what just happened to Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Why are we stopping it? Why are we hiring him? And what did he do? He took the worst defense in football and with smoke and mirrors, he made them credible, and he got a head coaching job in Washington. Yo, bro, Big Spank Dog, come here. Let me smack you. I don't care what you say, especially a Big Spank Dog, especially since I don't think you've had a 4,000-yard quarterback. Have you ever had a 4,000-yard quarterback? That dude's had it 4 times. He's had a 37 TD season. He's had a 36 TD season. He's had a 30, and 4 seasons of over 4,000 yards. Get back to me when you've had a Washington quarterback that's done that shit. Actually, I tell you what, I hate bullshit. Chump-ass mother humpers that got swept by the Cowboys coming in here like they done something. Your team ain't done shit. Commanders or Redskin QBs. I bet you Mark Rippon's the last one that have thrown for 4,000 yards. Let's see. I bet you Mark Rippon. Let's see. Oh, no, Kirk Cousins has. Sorry. Kirk Cousins did it 3 times. Jay Schrader and Brad Johnson had 1 each. And so, in totality, Big Stank Dog, okay? Big Spank Dog, your history of your team has had 5 quarterbacks throw, and one of them had 3 of them, which was Kirk Cousins, throw for 4,000 yards. Dak has done that 4 times since 2019. So shut the fuck up. Because you know what? Your team's in worse case shape than I am. Mine is. You ain't got a whole lot of draft picks. You got the over-the-hill gang. That sucks. You got Prego, Debo Samuels. And you got Jalen Daniels, the little kid out there who can't stay healthy. So why don't you carry your ass on over with some more Commander content creators and go over there and cry together with them instead of coming over here trying to act like you done something and you ain't done shit. You ain't busted a grape. Great. Dude, kiss my ass. Commanders are trash. For once, me and Logan Motorsport can agree. Commanders are trash. Commanders fans have no right to talk. Caitlin in the house. What's up, Caitlin? Okay. You know, I know what it is, Big Spank Dog. You're jealous of Dak Prescott. You look at that and say, damn, we had Kirk Cousins, and Dak Prescott owned his ass. We done been through Kirk Cousins. We done been through Alex Smith. We done been through, who was the number 1 pick, unfortunately, passed away with the Steelers. We've been through that guy. We've been through eyebrows, and all of these bums, and you think you got the nerve to come in here and talk about Dak Prescott? Bro, get a freaking grip. You're as bad as Momo, who's always in here talking, going from Cowboy channel to Cowboy channel to Cowboy channel and telling you, I'll be right back. I got to go over to Game Time Brian's. Oh, man, I got to go to Lloyd's channel now. It's like, bro, Dwayne Haskin, thank you, Alan Williams. Bro, I thought you were a Commanders fan. Why is it you're living on nothing but Cowboy channels? Don't you want to learn about your own? I bet you don't know shit about your own team, except for hating on the Dallas Cowboys. Sick of that shit. The Commanders are literally full of shit. Laugh out. Old shit at that. They go to the retirement home to get their guys. Fire Jerry Jones. You can't fire a guy that owns the business as much as we'd like to. Can I get back to my regularly scheduled program here without being interrupted by Commanders fans that are wanting? The Commanders have the comfiest couch. Dak. Okay. Cowboys need to hire Jason Witten as their next head coach. You know what? I'll be real with you. Here's my take on Schottenheimer, okay? I like Brian Schottenheimer. I do. I think that the problem, in the same way that Mike McCarthy wasn't a bad coach. He won a Super Bowl. He had to do something to win a Super Bowl. But I think part of the fact that Mike McCarthy had 3 teams that won 12 games in a row. Actually says he ain't a bad coach. But the problem is Jerry and Stephen Jones. When you look at what we have done in the draft in the 2020s, yeah, we got Micah, we got Diggs, we got CD, we got Tyler Smith, we got Tyler Booker. That's 5 players. There's 22 starting positions out there. The rest of the things that we've gotten have not been good. Have not been good. And when the Cowboys go into free agency, they go bargain basement shopping, and they wait till there's nothing really left. The Cowboys famously sign players in training camp and after training camp. And when they do, think about this. When you bring in an Anthony Barr in training camp to be a starting linebacker, he hasn't had training camp. Oh, and he's recovering from an ACL. Forgot about that. You can't expect him to hit the ground running. The Cowboys have to change what they're doing to get a different result. You can get, and I know y'all will. I know everybody will blame Dak Prescott, and that's fine. You can do what you want to do. At the last I checked, here in America, you can say what you want to say and you can feel what you want to feel. I feel like you have to have everything together to win. You can't just be strong on one side of the ball and the absolute positive worst on the other. You got to have some luck. You got to get some calls. And even with all that happens, it's still not enough. Last I checked, Josh Allen ain't been to a Super Bowl, has he? Lamar Jackson? No? We've got to get this defense together. I'm glad Diggs is gone. He's garbage. Yeah, that was one that maybe they should have considered since the well was poisoned in the summer and all the stuff that was going. They should have just bit the bullet and just let him go. Because, see, here's the problem with the Cowboys' philosophy, the way I see it. Now, again, they got more money than I could ever even dream of. So, telling them that they got problems is kind of stupid. Because they can turn around and say, I'm rich, bitch! And they probably do. And anytime anybody tells them how stupid they are, they turn around and say, I'm rich, bitch! Because they are. Extremely rich. Richer than any franchise out there. So, trying to tell them you're doing things wrong, they're not going to listen. We're rich. But the problem is what we're doing right now with Matt Eberflus. Move on. Get it done. Stop trying to be, a media company disguised as a football team. Handle your business. This didn't work. Send a message to everybody that we are doing things different. By sitting here while everybody else is already firing in the process of getting shit done, grabbing the best candidates available, talking to as many people. Now, Brian Schottenheimer, I think he's a good coach. But they have to stop undermining him. If you're going to have him be your coach, let him coach. Let him sink or swim by his decisions. Don't make the calls for him and then turn around and blame him. Matt Eberflus? Damn, Mark, sounds like you're a little worried about my Commanders getting all worked up. Brand new owner, GM, head coach, staff, quarterback, and new stadium. And you know what, Sean? C. Davey? No, bro. You may have all of those things. They had a saying that you can take the girl out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out the girl. You can take the Commanders out of the ghetto over there, but you ain't taking the ghetto loser-ass mentality that they got. New owner, same results, bro. Same results. gone in free agency, signing all these over-the-hill players. That's a Dan Snyder move, bro. That's it. Deebo Samuels, you can chalk up there with the Albert Hainsworths, with the Adam Archulettas, the Deion Sanders. Those are names that bring excitement. And you know what's really – oh, my God. This is actually really funny. And I am so glad that I didn't bite for it. Excuse me. What's funny is I have a Commander ticket salesman. Whenever we've done tailgates, we always go through him. He gives us a good deal in a club section suites. Okay? Last year I didn't go because it was right after we had the game with Philadelphia. So I'm already in Philadelphia. And it was going to be 2 weeks later we were playing the Commanders. And I'm like, I can't spend the money and the time going to Dallas for that game and then turn around before Thanksgiving and do the Commanders game. So I decided not to do it. He called me. Now, the tickets we usually get are like $290, $300 for that section. He called me, and he said, this is over the summer. And he said, listen, the tickets are going fast, man. He said the tickets are going really, really fast. Excuse me. I belched a little bit there. He said the tickets, I can't hold them like I've done in the past, man. They're selling fast. After the season we just had, they're like hotcakes, man. And he said, unfortunately, they're going to go up. He said they're going to be about $390 a seat in the club section. And I said, it's on Christmas. He said, yeah, I know. And that's what's going to make it even more special because, you know, they're going to be in the playoff chase and everything's going to be good. It's going to be packed and everything else, and it'll be a meaningful game. And I was like, that's awful expensive there, $390. He's like, I'm telling you. He said, you got 3 weeks. He said, after that, he said, I can't guarantee nothing. Yeah. That was the feeling that they had, you know, because y'all were out there, oh, we got Deebo. And I said, Deebo had a great year in 2021. And since that time, he's done gone downhill. Oh, no, man. Deebo is great, man. Deebo, he going to be kicking y'all's ass, right? Oh, man. You got my man with the gas mask, weed smoker and stuff, right? Man, we got a great left tackle. Oh, Jalen Daniels. Oh, my God. You know, I was listening to Momo. I don't know where Momo is right now. Momo talking about he ain't going to I don't believe in a sophomore slump. He ain't having a sophomore slump. He going to be the best quarterback in football. How you like me now? Great show tonight without Momo talking over people. Hey, Logan. Hey, Logan. Can I ask you something, Logan? Can I ask you something? Okay. GT8676. I won't say trade Dak. Mark, you're going to block me tonight? I won't say trade Dak again. What is it with y'all? What is it with y'all? Y'all try to get – see, I think that's what y'all do. Y'all come in here with the goal of getting blocked so then you can go run and say, Mark Holmes blocked me. Is that like a badge of honor? That Mark, oh, my God, I got blocked by Mark Holmes. Woohoo. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Except, right, Tay Cowboys. Shout out to Tay. 7-0. Mark, what is the question? I don't know. These Commander fans, for some reason, Commander fans think that they're good. Dallas 5,005. I don't understand why we're waiting to thank you, Dallas 505 fan 5005. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Why are we waiting to fire Matt Eberflus? You know, well, we really have to think it over. You know, we got to evaluate. We need to sit down and talk to him. No, you don't. We've been the worst freaking defense in the history of football 4th. What are we waiting for? What you need to do is right now, while you have the attention of the fans that are upset, because you know you're going to be selling season tickets soon. You're going to be selling, and you know you're going to go up on the price on them. What you need to do is, hey, we're putting accountability out there. We're firing his ass. And we're hiring a real defensive coordinator. We're going to support him to try and get Cowboy fans to believe in it. Right now, I feel like we're doing the same shit we did last year. Now, on the flip side of this, it's kind of hard to bite the hand that feeds you. But I'm going to bite it. Just like Dan Campbell bites off kneecaps. Because the fact that we're sitting here every day, you know what's going to happen. It's 9:01, and today would be a great day to fire Matt Eberflus. You know you're checking Twitter, you're checking your notifications on my channel and everything else. Has he been fired yet? Has he been fired? So they're going to string that out, which is good for my channel. And then we're going to start the process of trying to find out who's next. You remember when we ended up all of a sudden, we stringed along Mike McCarthy, and we're like, oh, Mike McCarthy's coming back. Mike McCarthy's coming back. And then all of a sudden, boom, Mike McCarthy is not coming back. Oh, shit. And now it was going to be, who's coming in? Who are we going to hire? But all the good ones are gone. Okay, oh, man, who's the candidate? Next thing we start hearing rumors about Brian Schottenheimer. And then we heard not rumors about Brian Schottenheimer, but then we started hearing about Pete Carroll. Thank God. We heard about Dion. We had, Michael Irvin going to bat for Dion. Here's the opportunity to hire, Dion, right? We had all of that conversation about the Cowboys throughout the playoffs. Holly, he don't know how that happened. What happened? Holly, oops. Sean, we have the 5th most free agent money this year, and my team spends our money. Does yours? Well, Sean, I'm assuming you're a Commander fan, right? Yeah, you spent a lot of money last year. How'd that work out last year? I'm being serious. How did it work out for you last year, spending all the money? Do you know, this is a fact. Come here. This is a fact, okay? Don't let it out. But do you know that the New York Jets, since 2016, have spent more money in free agency than anybody else? Yeah. The New York Jets. How's that working out for them? And Commanders, I have to be honest with you. You guys have some of the biggest free agent contracts in the history of football. And you, I believe, have, of the top 10 worst free agent signings, I believe you got like half of them. Especially that one, Albert Hainsworth, Adam Archuleta, Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders. Should I go on? You had the reputation of you get paid when you go to Washington. They didn't say you win Super Bowls. They said you get paid. So, Commander fans, I get it. Y'all ain't got much to cheer for either. I get it. Yet the Jets still suck, laugh out loud. Mark, they need you to talk in kindergartner language. Oh, shit. Okay. Y'all have the number one. You have the number one. We have the number one what? Well, we got your number. We got your number. I can say that much. As bad as our season has been, at least we kicked your teeth in twice. Jason, oh, yeah. You know what, Thomas? You're right. I forgot. Jason Taylor literally said at his Hall of Fame speech, "Thank you, Dan Snyder, for letting me steal money." Oh, shit. How'd that free agent work out for you? So what merit did Dak get his? Snitching Eagles, laugh out loud. Okay. Well, I tell you what, how many quarterbacks have you had in the time of Dak Prescott? And I can guarantee, here's what I can tell you, Big Spank Dog. Okay. I bet you if you take all of the quarterbacks that you've had since 2016, okay? We're talking about the Kirk Cousins, the Alex Smiths, the Eyebrows, the Dwayne Haskins, and the draft capital that you spent on them. I'm betting that Dak Prescott looks like a bargain in comparison to what you guys have. Tom, what? Somebody steal your dog? What happened, Big Spank Dog? Did somebody steal your dog? Thomas scared, bro. You mad? Laughing so hard yesterday, arguing with Momo. I'm an Eagle fan, but Dak hate is annoying. Thank you, Logan Motorsports. Yeah, and have you had a quarterback last more than 2 or 3 years? That's literally throwing more touchdown passes than interceptions. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on. We're both on the couch right now, but our team has a much brighter future, mainly because we don't have Jerry Jones or as our GM. Haha. Well, maybe. Somehow the Cowboys still kind of stay relevant. The problem for Washington is I don't think you have that many draft picks this year, and you've got a lot. You got a lot of holes too. Now we know our defense sucks. We know our defensive coordinator sucks. We need help on our linebacking crew. We need help at edge rushing. We need cornerbacks. We need safeties. I get it. But the Cowboys having 2 number ones can help. And if the Cowboys decide to use the triggers that are there for them, they can get $100 million of cap space. They can actually go ahead and take this team that's an offense. The offense really just needs tweaking of 2 tackles. And it may be that what it might be is 1 tackle and 1 guard, because it may be Tyler Smith gets kicked out to tackle. He's having his exit meeting today where they're trying to get clarification on his role going forward. As he put it, he'll do what he has to do for the team, but you can tell he really does not want to be the left tackle. Dak got us percentage, the ranked offense. Commanders were just the middle of the road. So what's your argument, Commode Dog? Fill the gaps in free agency so we can get best player available. That's always the case that we hope, Dallas 505. I mean, that's what I always look at and say, if we go – here's the thing about it is, if we decide to go ahead and really get serious, because here's what we can do. Right now, today, we're sitting here with $33 million over the cap, which sounds terrible. But Terrence Steele is not going to be part of this organization. Terrence Steele is going to get cut. Making post-June 1st, it's $15 million. If not, it's $12 million. Okay? That gets you to 21. We got 23 in rollover. Okay? So that gets us 2 over before the salary cap goes up. Salary cap, I'm going to say, is going to go up $28 million. That gets you to 30. You can flip the trigger on Dak Prescott alone and get $32 million. You can flip the trigger on CeeDee Lamb and get like $18 million. You can flip a trigger on Quentin Williams. You can flip a trigger on Tyler Smith, on Jake Ferguson. You got so many triggers you can do that you can get over $110 million. Now, will they? Is the question. I can't tell you that one. I can't. If I'm going by past history, the Cowboys, they'll look at it and say, we're just going to draft and we're going to believe in our own guys. But I will say the reality is the Cowboys don't have that much time more with Dak. 2-3 years, and then it's going to definitely start going downhill, diminishing returns. And if I'm Jerry Jones at 83, my dad passed at 86. My father-in-law passed at 86. I'm going to say Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott, they're joined at the hip right now. and you have an offense that's good, if you're not going to go all in now to try and fix this defense, you're never going all in. How does he own the NFC East when the Eagles just won the division? They haven't had back-to-back winner. But y'all not having Jimmy Johnson anymore. That's, Logan, that's the curse of Jimmy Johnson. It seems like no matter what Jerry does, he can't seem to get over the hump past Jimmy Johnson. He just can't. Just can't. I honestly feel like it's a curse. So I do want to talk about one other thing here before I get ready to finish this off. And that is, since we're talking about how bad the Cowboys mess up and everything, let's go back through a little bit of the Eagles and the 49ers.
Termination in Philadelphia, which, by the way, could be any day of the week ending in Y. But the Eagles decided to hold out their starters and let the chips fall between the 2 and 3 seed. And the chips fell. And sure enough, the other result that the Eagles needed in order for them to get the 2 seed with a win over the Commanders, who hadn't won in forever and a day, happened. The Lions go into Chicago and beat a Bears team that starts everybody. 2 coaches have different approaches, both lost on Sunday. Who would you rather be? The coach that, had they started everybody, could have gotten a better seed and you lose, and you can go into the playoffs saying, that's not the team that we are. We rested everybody. Or do you want to be the head coach that said, we play people around here. We put it all out there. We almost pulled it out of our orifice again, but we still lost to a Detroit Lions team that didn't make the playoffs and swept us. And you're now saying, we're not that team, even though it kind of looks like you are because you started everybody. And you still wind up the seed that you wanted anyway, which is the 2 seed. Because the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed in the NFC, the 2 seed takes on a Packers team that didn't start anybody at all, you know, from your quarterback to pretty much everybody, lose to Minnesota. But they're also 9-7-1. And, you know, ever since the Packers lost that game to the Bears that they were up 10 points in with, you know, just a little over 2 minutes to go, they didn't win. And it's the Packers and the Bears. And if you're the 2 seed and you win that game, you get another game at home. The only road game you have to play would be an NFC Championship game unless somebody knocks off the 1 seed.
That's where you screw the pooch.
And if you're the Eagles and you fall to the 3 seed, instead of getting a Packers team that you have had a number against in various hemispheres, instead of them, you get a 49ers team that's coming in. And let's put it this way. If you knock Brock Purdy out of this playoff game, you know, Josh Johnson and Christian McCaffrey running a Wildcat offense is not walking through that door.
This is true.
So there's a difference. Let's hear what Nick Sirianni had to say after the game, as I'm sure today in Philadelphia, everybody is just spending one more day upset about not putting out the best team on the field in an 18th week to get the best possible seed before they turn a page and focus on a 49ers team coming to town.
No, you know, again, you go through your process. You make what you think is the best decision for the football team, and that's what we did. I knew this was an outcome that these things could happen. Like I said to you guys, one thing I could guarantee was giving them rest. I couldn't guarantee anything else. And us being healthy and going into the playoffs healthy is a big deal for us. And, you know, that's served us well in the past. And so, again, I know there'll be debate on that, but again, I have to do what I think's best for the football team moving forward, and that's what I did.
Has there been name me another coach in recent memory who's won as much as this guy has, including a Super Bowl as recently as this guy has, to have his process questioned as much as it is?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So him coming out and saying, "Trust the process." By the way, in Philadelphia,
maybe choose a different phrase.
That we have a process, and we're sticking to it, and that's our process. And trust my process.
Trust my process.
And that's going over, I'm sure, like the proverbial, what will you say, church-like
flatulence.
So, that's liquid.
Oh.
Don't forget that part.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, there's Ben Johnson, whose process is beyond trusted in the city in which he coaches, because the previous processes were so bad and so in question and have been that way for so long that just seeing what we saw from them in NFC North Championship, regardless of result yesterday, starting everybody.
No, I did not see
only
that.
To have another
See, Davey?
3
No.
quarters of mind-numbing offensive inactivity. Suddenly come alive like the Undertaker off the mat or Tim Tebow starting at fourth quarter, only to have that happen again, only to lose to the Lions anyway. Ben Johnson on his process hit it.
Ultimately, as you mentioned, this doesn't cost you with seeding. What was your messaging for the guys in there?
That we're quickly turning the page here. Everyone's disappointed. I appreciate, like I said, their effort. Some teams, they rest their starters. We don't.
Am I part of the process?
Football,
The process.
And,
I wish I were part of the process.
We felt like it was really important that we were playing our best ball here today, and we didn't get that job done. And so we're quickly turning that page, and now we got a home game coming on up, and there's a way to win this next game, and that's what we're going to be solely focused on.
We could go back and forth about this, but at the end of the day, we will not know the answer until next week.
Yeah, Eagles, you guys screwed the pooch on that one. I see, going into that game, I thought there was no chance that you could move up. I thought that's where I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense to resting the starters. But to find out that you could have moved up and all you had to do was beat the Commanders, bro. And that's as bad as San Francisco losing. And see, 49er fans are mad at me because I said you choked. You had right there in your stadium, all you had to do was win. You got a bye week, and then you could have 2 games to the Super Bowl and be at home. And you lost, and you went from 1st to 6? No, 5. Bro, that hurts. Now, boy, time flies, doesn't it? We may have a problem here, and that is Clowney. Clowney, who has come on, especially yesterday, with 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. He looked like the guy that people thought he was going to be when he came out. Clowney has never had 10 sacks in a season, never. But he's been consistent, anywhere from 3 to about 9 sacks a season. Last year he had 5. This year he's got 8.5. And when you think about the fact that he didn't get to the Cowboys until after training camp, he came in out of shape and still ended up having 8.5 sacks. You can best believe that people are going to be looking at Clowney to say, yeah, we'd like to sign that guy. And so all of a sudden, his price tag has increased quite a bit from, being like, $2-3 million. I'm just happy to get a job, to now saying, I can pick where I want to go. It may be that he's going to get a contract. I would say you got to look at him and say he could get a contract like Dorrance Armstrong. And Dorrance Armstrong signed a 3-year, $33 million contract last year with Washington that was valued up to $45 million with 22 guaranteed. Yeah. You can look at it and say Javonte Williams with 1,200 yards. You may not think that that's good, but let me tell you how good that was. You do realize that Javonte Williams got more yards than any running back the Cowboys have had in the 2020s. The last time we had somebody over 1,200 yards was Zeke Elliott in 2019. And from that point on, he's gone downhill. He's going to cost you more money, and deservedly so. And I look at it from the standpoint of you don't typically play running backs after year 4 because that's usually when they start going downhill. However, I'm not sure we can really look at him as a 4-year running back because after he got hurt, he basically spent 3 years rehabbing and getting back on the field, so he didn't get a lot of wear and tear there. And you see him seemingly getting into his stride now. And, of course, there's George Pickens. I don't know that there's been a wide receiver, if he hits free agency, coming off of a 1,400-plus yard season and 9 TDs. George Pickens is going to cost some money. And if the Cowboys franchise tag him, it's going to be a hard number that's not going to help us any as far as being able to get other players. It will be a hard $28 million, and I think he's already said, I am not playing on the tag. So the Cowboys do have a lot of work to do on trying to keep some of the things that they have before they're going to be able to get the players that they need. They got a lot of work to do, and waiting to fire Eberflus is about the dumbest thing in there. Bro, Clowney is not it. 8.5 sacks, bro. Here's what I'm going to say to you. What I'm going to say to you as far as Clowney goes, I'm not looking for Clowney to be my starter. I'm looking at Clowney to be a role player, a pass rush specialist, because he was the best. He was one of the better. He was the best edge rusher we had all season. He had 8.5. Dennis Houston, I believe, had 4.5. Donovan EZ had 2. We didn't get a lot of production. Now, if Donovan EZ takes a step next year, that's great. And if you go out and make a move for Max Crosby and you have Clowney as a rotational guy, then hey, yeah, that's a good move. Greg says, make sure y'all hit the like button. Please make sure you hit the like button. I would accept Clowney didn't show up. Oh, I would. Everybody, he's the only one that showed up yesterday. Eberflus is going nowhere. Jerry will extend his ass. No, he won't. If Clowney's your best defensive player, you guys got problems. I didn't say he was our. Hold on, Bobby. I didn't say he was our best defensive player. I didn't. Where did I say he's our best? He's our best. He was our best edge rusher, and I'm hoping that we'll have better than him next year. But you can't have just the best one player and nobody else. Quentin Williams is definitely our best player on defense. Taco Charlton looks pretty good right now. Okay. Tag and trade Pickens is also a choice of no contract. Yeah, I hear you on that one, no-face Cowboy. But, bro, here's what I'm going to say to getting rid of George Pickens. Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks. You realize if you put the three of them together and the production that they did each for us of the last 3 years, bro, you barely get over the 1,400 yards that George Pickens had this year. All righty, good people. It's back to the off season. We go back to Monday and Fridays, 9 o'clock live streams. Saturday members chat at 5 o'clock. And I guess I'll still be doing the Walk of Shame on the Dan Saleo show on Wednesdays at 4:30. All we got is hope of the Cowboys doing something big. And if they do or don't, we'll be here for it. I appreciate everybody and welcome everybody to the couch for the Dallas Cowboys. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year, start